Good evening and welcome to the Guyana TV9 News Bulletin for Tuesday, January 20, 2026. I'm Madana Doric. In the headlines tonight, Budget 2026 to focus on expanding opportunities for all Guyanese, says Dr. Ashley Singh. Home Affairs Ministry orders probe into sexual allegations as police force academy. Terence Campbell, APNU parliamentary lead, files legal challenges over TSC appointments. Up to $100 million in fines for privacy breaches as Guyana launches national electronic health records. And APNU to go it alone in Parliament after WIN fails to engage. Now for the news in depth. Senior Minister in the Office of the President with responsibility for finance, Dr. Ashley Singh, has described Budget 2026 as a people-centered and opportunity-driven financial plan that will advance Guyana's national transformation agenda under the People's Progressive Party Civic PPPC government. According to the Finance Minister, Budget 2026 is firmly grounded in the comprehensive manifesto presented to the Guyanese people ahead of the 2025 general and regional elections. More in this report.
Dr. Singh said it is both a privilege and pleasure to present Budget 2026 on behalf of the PPPC government led by President Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali, whom he described as energetic, dynamic, and inspiring. He emphasized that the upcoming budget will reflect the administration's commitment to inclusive development and shared prosperity. According to the Finance Minister, Budget 2026 is firmly grounded in the comprehensive manifesto presented to the Guyanese people ahead of the 2025 general and regional elections. That manifesto, he noted, laid out a clear and ambitious roadmap for advancing Guyana's transformation.
He would recall that manifesto outlined a comprehensive agenda for transforming our country or for advancing the transformation of our country, and very importantly for creating a Guyana that is full of opportunities for all Guyanese people. And Budget 2026 will reflect this, because the Guyana that we are building is a Guyana that is full of opportunities for every single Guyanese citizen to uplift themselves. And by upliftment, I refer to opportunities in literally every sphere of life, whether it's...
He explained that this vision of upliftment spans every major sphere of life. Budget 2026 will prioritize access to education, skills training, and professional certification while continuing to support large-scale job creation across multiple sectors of the economy. Dr. Singh also highlighted entrepreneurship as a key pillar, with particular emphasis on the establishment of growth of small and medium-sized businesses. The minister underscored the economic expansion under the PPPC government is not limited to headline growth figures, but is instead focused on ensuring that ordinary Guyanese can tangibly benefit through improved employment prospects, business opportunities, and pathways to personal and professional development.
It's a great privilege and pleasure for me to be able to present Budget 2026 on behalf of this People's Progressive Party civic government, led, of course, by our energetic, dynamic, young, inspiring President, Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali. It will be my honor to be presenting the 2026 budget on behalf of President Ali's government.
President Ali, during a recent address to the nation in December 2025, explicitly identified measures to be implemented during the current term of office, including but not limited to economic diversification and job creation by offering tax-free incentives for high-quality jobs in special development zones, housing and home ownership support to provide direct assistance to households to help them build or upgrade their homes, direct finance support for citizens through the universal $100,000 cash grant, increases in pensions and public assistance, support for childcare and elderly care through tax relief measures for companies engaged in childcare and elderly care, financial support to institutions involved in animal welfare, and many more. Budget 2026 is expected to reinforce the government's long-term development strategy while strengthening the foundation for inclusive growth, social mobility, and national prosperity. Calvin Abrams, Guyana Tv9 News.
The Forward Guyana Movement, FGM, says it will not attend the 2026 national budget presentation on January 26, announced by Finance Minister Dr. Ashley Singh, citing the absence of a leader of the opposition. In a statement from MP Amanda Walton, the party said Parliament cannot function as normal without an opposition leader, and is urging the Speaker to convene a meeting for non-government MPs to elect one before the budget is presented. The Ministry of Home Affairs has launched a full investigation into serious allegations of sexual exploitation, abuse of authority, and misconduct at the Guyana Police Force Academy, reaffirming the government's zero tolerance stance on abuse within the security sector. The ministry emphasized that the allegations are being treated with the utmost seriousness, noting that any conduct that undermines the integrity of law enforcement institutions or threatens the safety and dignity of trainees and officers will not be tolerated. More in this report.
Following receipt of a formal report outlining the allegations, the Ministry of Home Affairs said it immediately instructed the Criminal Investigation Department, CID, and the Office of Professional Responsibility to commence comprehensive investigations. The ministry emphasized that the allegations are being treated with the utmost seriousness, noting that any conduct that undermines the integrity of law enforcement institutions or threatens the safety and dignity of trainees and officers will not be tolerated. Quote, any individuals, regardless of rank, position, or tenure, found to have engaged in wrongdoing will be charged and held fully accountable under the law, end of quote, the ministry stated. At the same time, officials stressed that all investigations will be carried out in accordance with due process, ensuring that inquiries are thorough, impartial, and free from interference. The Guyana Police Force Academy is a primary training institution for new recruits and officers undergoing professional development. As such, it plays a critical role in shaping discipline, ethics, and standards within the national law enforcement framework. Over recent years, the Ministry of Home Affairs has undertaken reforms aimed at strengthening accountability and professional conduct across the security sector, including the expansion of internal oversight mechanisms and the reinforcement of disciplinary procedures. The current investigation forms part of these broader efforts to ensure transparency, protect vulnerable individuals within training and operational environments, and maintain public trust in the Guyana Police Force. The ministry underscored that the welfare, dignity, and protection of all trainees and officers remain a top priority. It reiterated that allegations of abuse or exploitation will be pursued decisively while safeguarding the rights of all parties involved. Colwyn Abrams, Guyana TV9 News.
APNU parliamentarian Terence Campbell, MP, has filed a fixed date application in the High Court of Guyana seeking judicial review and constitutional relief in relation to the recent appointments to the Teaching Service Commission (TSC).
Campbell said the legal action focuses on whether the appointments comply with Article 207 of the Constitution, which outlines the procedure for appointing members of the TSC and requires meaningful consultation with the leader of the opposition. He argues that such consultation could not have occurred due to the absence of an elected leader of the opposition at the time the appointments were made.
As a consequence of those actions by the government, I filed an action for judicial review in constitutional relief, an action aimed at quashing the appointment of 3 members of the Teaching Service Commission, where their appointment required meaningful consultation with the leader of the opposition.
According to the application, the matter raises important constitutional questions about the interpretation of the application of Article 207, particularly whether appointments can proceed in the absence of a leader of the opposition. Campbell maintains that the constitutional requirements for consultation is a substantive safeguard intended to ensure balance and inclusivity within key service commissions.
It is interesting that in 2022, the Vice President and former President of Guyana, Barra Jagdeo, indicated that members, they would await the appointment of a leader of the opposition in order to name the members of the service commissions. So fast forward to 2025, with the opening of that door in error by the acting Chief Justice, as she then was, Roxanne George, the Fanali administration proceeded to appoint these 3 members of the Teaching Service Commission.
The court filing also notes that the position of Leader of the Opposition has remained vacant for an extended period and highlights the absence of a formal process to facilitate the election of a new leader. Campbell contends that this context is relevant to the legality of the appointments now before the court. In his submission, Campbell is asking the High Court to examine the constitutionality of the appointments and to determine whether they should be set aside. He stated that the action is being pursued in the public interest and is aimed at clarifying constitutional requirements and reinforces adherence to the established legal process. The matter is now before the High Court for consideration. Calvin Abrams, Ghana TV9 News.
A Chinese-operated bauxite vessel has been detained in Linden after its passage caused damage to several small passenger boats operating along the Demerara River, sparking renewed outrage among residents and boat operators. According to a statement from the Maritime Administrative Department, the motor vessel BG Fate was being piloted from Georgetown to Bosai Bauxite Company's wharf at Linden on Monday, January 19th, when its wakes caused damage to multiple small vessels in the area at approximately 11:30 hours. No injuries were officially reported. More news on the other side of the break. Stay tuned.
GCOM is currently conducting a claims and objections exercise to produce an official list of electors, OLE. Anyone who became 18 years or older on December 31, 2025 and is a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GCOM has posted the preliminary list of electors, PLE, in all of the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check if you are listed, and if so, whether your particulars are accurate. You can object to anyone who you believe does not qualify for inclusion in the OLE. To do so, you must be listed in the same divisional list as a person you are objecting to. You must visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to make an objection. It is an offense to make false objections. The objections aspect of this exercise will end on Thursday, January 22, 2026. For more information, contact GCOM on 225-0278-9 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Welcome back. You're watching Guyana TV9 News Bulletin. Plans for the Ogle Eccles to Providence Route interlink have been significantly adjusted, with the alignment now being shifted by 100 to 200 meters to safely bypass critical Guyana Power and Light GPL infrastructure. Public Works Minister Bishop Juan Edgehill announced the necessary route change during a recent site visit at Eccles, emphasizing that the modification is essential to prevent conflict with GPL's future expansion plans, ensure public safety, and allow for uninterrupted construction of the major highway project. More from Faith Sandy.
The revised alignment of the Ogle Eccles to Providence interlink will allow motorists to travel directly from the new 4-lane highway to a roundabout leading onto the Demerara Harbor Bridge. Minister Edgel noted that the original route would have placed the roadway too close to a GPL substation, prompting concerns after the utility company signaled its intention to expand operations in the area.
We are here because in the original alignment, which was agreed on, would have seen us passing close to the GPL substation and other infrastructure in the area. We had an agreement. GPL has since said that they would like to do expansion, and it's not too safe for us to be in such close proximity. So we are here to see how we could get that problem solved. What is the proposal is the extension of the alignment. Rather than staying where we are here, we go 4 to 200 meters, bypass the GPL infrastructure facilities, and then come in an alignment all the way out to the bridge. So the contractors and the consultants need to come back with a costing. So let us be able to have a a position of how we're going to go forward. But
The revised alignment will extend the roadway slightly before reconnecting toward the bridge, creating a connector similar to those at Hogsbosch and Arbery Barker Road. The interlink is expected to span approximately 4.4 kilometers with a 4.7-kilometer connection from Heroes Highway, which will significantly improve traffic flow between the East Coast, East Bank, and Georgetown.
the work here, as you can see, is moving rapidly. So decision is something that is not to be done. Something is that have to be done now. So we are looking at all the options. And what it means is that when you come over the bridge, you come straight around the roundabout and you will have a connector similar to Higgsbush, similar to Aubrey Barker, that connects you all the way to this new 4-lane Ogle Eccles interlink, as it is called, but it will now end up from Eccles to Providence as well. So how long is the connector back to Heroes Highway? 4.4 kilometers. The distance from this highway to Heroes Highway will be 4.7 kilometers. And that is the alignment that we are on, that we'll have to bypass the GPL infrastructure to ensure safety and long-term benefits to the GPL expansion that is expected to take place.
Minister Edgell said contractors and consultants are now required to submit updated costings as construction is progressing rapidly and decisions must be taken without delay. He emphasized that the adjustment will deliver long-term benefits, supporting both national infrastructure development and future energy expansion. Faith Sandy, Guyana TV9 News.
For decades, Guyana's hinterland communities existed beyond the reach of reliable internet, separated from opportunity by geography and infrastructure. Today, that digital divide is rapidly disappearing. Through a bold national push powered by satellite technology and community ICT hubs, the government of Guyana is ushering 253 Amerindian villages into a new era of connectivity, one that promises better education, improved healthcare, and a future where no community is left behind. The government of Guyana has made major strides in expanding internet access to 253 Amerindian communities under the Hinterland Poor and Remote Communities ICT Connectivity Project. Implemented in collaboration with the National Data Management Authority, NDMA, speaking last Sunday on the Starting Point podcast, Prime Minister Brigadier retired Mark Phillips disclosed that every Amerindian community across the country has now been equipped with Starlink satellite internet devices, marking a historic milestone in national development. Beyond satellite access, the government has committed to constructing 200 information and communication technology ICT hubs to ensure stable and communal internet access. Approximately 140 hubs have already been completed, with the remaining 60 expected to come on stream in the coming months.
Some 253 Amerindian communities are now connected to the internet through that project and through the work of the NDMA. All right.
Wow.
We are building ICT hubs in 200 communities. We finished just about 140 now. We have another 60 to complete. But then in addition to that, and separate and apart from that, we've connected 253 Amerindian communities using the what you call the Starlink, Starlink device. We've installed Starlink device in every one of those Armenian community, and they're now connected to the internet. So they can now pursue their education through the Gold Scholarship.
These ICT hubs are designed to be gateways to opportunity, providing residents with access to digital classrooms, online training, and educational platforms such as the Guyana Online Academy of Learning, GOAL. For many hinterland residents, this represents their first consistent connection to formal online education. Prime Minister Phillips also underscored the transformative effect of connectivity on healthcare delivery. With reliable internet now available, telemedicine services are expanding, allowing patients in remote areas to consult medical professionals from local hospitals and health centers. In more complex cases, patients will still be referred to advanced coastal facilities, ensuring continuity of care. According to the Prime Minister, these technological advances, paired with improved road infrastructure, are empowering hinterland communities to take a more holistic approach to their own development.
It's like opening a whole new avenue of opportunities to people in the hinterland, right? Just imagine that coupled with the improvements in the road system to get into those communities.
Yes.
All right. Telemedicine. Right. With internet now, you can have telemedicine where, you don't necessarily have to bring out a patient. Once they're connected with a specialist and the treatment can be administered at that health center, that hospital in the hinterland, right? It has been done there. And you only bring out the patient if it is necessary.
In connecting the hinterland, Guyana is not just laying cables or installing satellites, it is building bridges to opportunity, equity, and national unity. Dana Dora, Guyana TV9 News.
Fines of up to $20 million for individuals and $100 million for institutions will be enforced under Guyana's Data Protection Act to protect patients' medical information as the country moves to electronic health records. Speaking at the launch of the National Electronic Health Record System at the Festival City Polyclinic, Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony said the law ensures strict confidentiality and accountability as healthcare services become fully digitized. Here is more.
Under the Data Protection Act, individuals who leak or misuse medical information faces fines of up to 20 million Guyana dollars, while institutions that breach patient confidentiality can be fined as much as $100 million. The minister said the legislation was passed in anticipation of this digital health system, ensuring that all records stored on the national platform remain secure and protected.
About 3 years ago, we went to Parliament and we passed legislation that is called the Data Protection Act. And in that Data Protection Act, one of the things that we put in that act is that if anybody, and we were anticipating this day when we'll get here, when we'll have this information together. So if anybody take your information and share it without your knowledge, let's say they leak your information, then they will be liable to a fine of 20 million Guyana dollars. So we're not making, this thing is not a joke. People's information must be kept confidentially, right? And that is why the penalties for breaching that confidence is going to be very, very high. And if you're an institution and you breach that confidentiality, then the fine is going to be $100 million.
The Data Protection Act also guarantees that patients remain in full control of their medical records, allowing them to decide who can access their information. Minister Anthony noted that while the electronic system allows health professionals to deliver faster and more efficient care, privacy remains a top priority, as all records will be stored in one national database.
So this issue of confidentiality, we are taking it very seriously, and it is in the laws of Guyana to protect your data. So I want you to understand that. We have thought this out. We have been working at this for many years now, and we want to ensure that once we move to these types of systems, that your data is going to be protected. You are going to be in full control of your data. You would choose who you want to share it with. And I think that is extremely important, that you must be in control.
According to the health minister, the strong legal framework is intended to build public trust as the electronic health record system is rolled out nationwide. He urged citizens to embrace the technology, assuring them that Guyana's laws are in place to protect their data as healthcare services continue to modernize. Faith Sandy, Guyana TV9 News.
A Partnership for National Unity APNU will proceed independently in the National Assembly after efforts to form a unified opposition front with the We Invest in Nationhood WIN party failed to materialize. APNU Chief Whip Ganesh Mahipal said repeated attempts to engage WIN yielded no meaningful outcome, resulting in APNU abandoning plans for parliamentary collaboration. He explained that while initial contact was made, including a telephone discussion, months passed without any agreed framework or work plan for cooperation. As a result, APNU has moved ahead with its own parliamentary strategy and has already identified shadow ministers to ensure what Mahipal described as effective opposition representation and oversight of the governing People's Progressive Party Civic (PPPC). Mahipal noted that APNU had hoped opposition parties could work together to strengthen accountability in Parliament, but said the lack of engagement from WIN made that impossible. He added that while APNU remains open to working with other opposition forces, it will no longer pursue unproductive talks. The WIN party, a relatively new political force, secured more votes and parliamentary seats than the PNC-led APNU at the last elections, reshaping opposition dynamics in the National Assembly. However, APNU has now made it clear that it will chart its own course as parliamentary business continues. More news on the other side of the break. Stay tuned.
Want to place your death announcements and in memoriam messages on Channel 9? Call 592-761-5006, 710-5008, 600-5006. Or visit our office at Lot 85A Lamaha Street, Albertown, Georgetown, Century 21 Building.
GCOM is currently conducting a claims and objections exercise to produce an official list of electors, OLE. Anyone who became 18 years or older on December 31, 2025 and is a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GCOM has posted the preliminary list of electors, PLE, in all of the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check if you are listed, and if so, whether your particulars are accurate. You can object to anyone who you believe does not qualify for inclusion in the OLE. To do so, you must be listed in the same divisional list as a person you are objecting to. You must visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to make an objection. It is an offense to make false objections. The objections aspect of this exercise will end on Thursday, January 22, 2026. For more information, contact GCOM on 225-0278-9 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Welcome back. You're watching Guyana TV9 News Bulletin. As Guyana continues its nationwide push to vaccinate students aged 9 to 16 against cervical cancer, HPV vaccination coordinator nurse Eslyn Williams is working to clear lingering misconceptions. She emphasized that the life-saving human papillomavirus HPV vaccine does not encourage early sexual activity among children.
Guyana's national HPV vaccination coverage currently stands at 70%, a significant figure, but still short of the 90% target needed for herd immunity. In an exclusive interview with Guyana TV9, nurse Eslyn Williams addresses the preliminary barrier to that goal, a wave of misinformation and parental hesitancy. Health officials are working tirelessly to bridge the 20% gap, but Nurse Williams says the biggest hurdles aren't logistical, they are psychological. She notes that while parental fear is natural, it is often fueled by unfounded myths.
It's like about 70%, but we're hoping to have at least, like we said, the strategy is 90% we want to have, right? So we are not there yet, but I know healthcare workers have been working seriously to ensure that this the coverage increase, right? And the for the challenges, unfortunately, what we find in the course is that there's still a lot of hesitancy from parents, right? Acceptance of the vaccine. So that is one of the biggest challenges.
Among the most damaging rumors is the claim that the vaccination encourages early sexual activity. Nurse Williams clarifies that extensive research proves that vaccine is solely a medical tool to prevent cervical and other HPV-related cancers, with no link to changes in behaviors. She also addressed that the misconception that HPV is strictly a quote-unquote woman's issue. People often think HPV is a woman's issue, but men are actually the primary carriers. This is why it is equally important for boys and men to be vaccinated. Protecting everyone helps stop the spread. As the Ministry of Health continues to push for 2026 health targets, Williams is urging families to choose science over stigma. Her message is simple: a single dose today prevents a terminal diagnosis tomorrow.
So I just want to reassure parents that the vaccine is safe. Prevention is always better than cure. Right? Vaccine today is to protect the child, and that would be one less problem. Cervical cancer would be one less problem for you to think about for your children. Not only cervical cancer, but like the nurse mentioned about the cancer of the throat, cancer of the penis, cancer of the vagina. Those are less problems that you have to think about. So talk to your healthcare worker. Ensure that your child is fully vaccinated.
Nurse Williams encourages any parent with doubts to visit their local health center for a one-on-one consultation, emphasizing that informed decisions are the best protection for the next generation. Throughout January, Guyana joins the global community in celebrating Cervical Cancer Awareness Month, emphasizing that this disease is both preventable and treatable through proactive care. The Ministry of Health has intensified its efforts under the National Cervical Cancer Elimination Plan 2026 to 2030, which focuses on expanding access to the Gardasil 9 HPV vaccine for children aged 9 to 15 and women up to 45 years old. To further support early detection, the government continues to offer $8,000 vouchers that allows women aged 21 to 65 to access free screenings at various public and private health facilities across the country. By encouraging every woman to know her HPV status and attend regular screenings, Ghana remains committed to its strategic goal of eliminating cervical cancer as a public health threat by 2030. Adana Dore, Ghana TV9 News.
Regionally, a climate-resilient hurricane shelter and community center built through a partnership involving the Bahamian and Indian governments and the UNDP has opened on Abaco, Bahamas. Designed to withstand Category 5 winds, the facility provides shelter for up to 800 people and features solar power, water, harvesting, and disability-inclusive elements. Internationally, in a devastating train crash in southern Spain that claimed 42 lives, a 6-year-old girl emerged as a miracle survivor. Found barefoot on the tracks after escaping through a shattered window, she suffered only minor injuries despite losing her parents, brothers, and cousin. While the nation mourns one of its darkest rail disasters, the child is now being raised by her grandparents in Cordoba, her survival serving as a singular symbol of hope amid the tragedy. Tunisia is facing its heaviest rainfall since 1950, with catastrophic flooding claiming at least 4 lives and paralyzing the nation. The fatalities occurred in Monknai Monastir, where surging water submerged vehicles and isolated entire neighborhoods. Meteorologists reported over 200 millimeters of rain in parts of the country, including the capital. In response, the government has deployed the army to assist overwhelmed civil defense teams in rescue operations. Schools and courts remain closed, and transportation networks are severely disrupted. Officials warn that the situation remains critical as water levels continue to rise. And that has brought us to the end of tonight's newscast. Remember to check out our Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube platforms at GUI TV9 for more trending stories. I'm Adana Doric. Good night.